Jewish genealogy of an Afro descendant from so-called Aboriginal American? And can you provide some
Why do y'all keep
documents?
entertaining him if he hasn't turned his camera on in 5 years?
What? Wait, hold up.
Can I
I
get some
can't hear
documents?
him. What you said?
Yeah, can I get some documents clarifying this, distinguishing an Afro descendant from Aboriginal
You
American?
gotta speak up, man.
Documents
You gotta speak up. You gotta
Okay.
use your outside voice.
I heard him. Oh, hold up. Hold up, y'all. I
He
gotta ask
asking
him.
what is he asking for? Because when I was on your panel, I had a whole book of receipts you ain't want to pull up.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
showed you a book
confused.
too. Showed you a book too. Yes, I'm allowed, but you can join me.
Something. If any of y'all show him anything, I'll know that I can't go into any kind of situation with y'all and feel like I could trust y'all on anything. If y'all would turn your camera on to show him anything, I know that in the future I can't trust none of y'all to do
No,
anything.
wait, hold on, Rashad. Because first of all, when I pulled up to his platform, I wasn't even trying to show what I knew. I was trying to understand what he knew, and he kept begging and begging and begging and begging. Okay, since you begging for the book and the information,
I'm about
there
to
you
bring
go.
you
He
up,
didn't pull
Lord.
it up.
No, I'm talking about at this moment, right here, today, right now. I'm not talking
Okay,
about
right.
nothing that happened before
I
He
today.
left.
You've already been exiled. Yeah, you've been exiled, bro. Get up out of here.
He dropped. Great replacement.
That boy got exiled. He does not get to receive any more information. We don't even want none of your energy, boy. That's what you call a social exile.
Look, y'all. I was about to pull up. I was about to pull up one of the receipts. Let me go to one of the receipts that he pulled up. I hope he's still in the audience.
You got it, Nadia?
Let me pull up one of the receipts
I got it.
that he pulled up on his background. He didn't even realize what he was putting on the back of his screen. Now look at this, right? This is one of the receipts that he showed. Let me tell you how dumb he actually is and how he really don't read, y'all. He pulled this receipt up right here, right? Now in this receipt, that he pulled up, he want to say that everybody came from Africa, right? But in this receipt right here, it talked about all the Negroid races. He was going through all the Negroid races around the world, right? Then he talked about how the Negroid races were spread all across the world.
Don't go into the stairs with that on your face. Because if you can't see, you're going to fall down the stairs.
Yeah, but he goes to say that everybody came from Africa, then make a whole panel of all the Negro races around the world and pulled out receipts that they were spreading. They were in America, they were in England and all these different places. Y'all, this is how I know these people are not educated. Cause you sit up here and say that we was all over places like Brazil and in Asia and all of these different places. So how is everybody that's classified as a Negro is African? It's like y'all.
But sis, you know what's so funny?
Y'all.
When you read in old books and they describe the Americans, they describe us as Negro. And when you read about other races, they describe them as Negroid. If you look up the etymology of oid, that means like comparing to, or so it's like everywhere you look, the subtle signs, they're telling you that we are the blueprint, the American Indian, the melanated American Indian.
Yo, these people be stressing me out. This every time we talk about this topic, it's like it just go haywire. I ain't even lying. I be losing all my thoughts just from thinking about the stuff that they say when they get up here. I'm trying to see how us talking about this subject erase everybody else's identity. I don't understand it. I don't get it.
Because
some people stole identities, so
Exactly. There you go. It either erases their lives or they have to come to the truth on how their relatives or friends and family members help them get in the position that they're in life right now is because of what atrocities your family did. So the fact that
some people might learn the hard way how they got their last name.
Exactly. And some people don't.
But you made a valid point where I question that too, where you said if they were getting, how was they being able to pay their way for their freedom? Like that makes a lot of sense, and that make you think like, wow, I never thought that. That never came across my mind, but that makes sense.
You know what's crazy for me? Like, okay, it's in the laws, right? That these people did, $5 Indian stuff where they paid $5 to become an Indian. How come other people are not reading that and understanding that this went on? It's just mind blowing to me.
Once again, key word, the belittlement of things that have happened or have affected copper colored people here in America that immigrants and people who call themselves Americans do not acknowledge, but then want to get in their feelings about it when it's brought up. Make it make sense.
That shit is really cognitive dissonance. Like, fam,
It is.
we've got so many people that suffer from that shit. That shit is an epidemic. That is the real disease out here. Cognitive dissonance. If you're not familiar with that word, go look it up.
That is a fact.
What's up, Lord? You wanted to get on the panel to address 05, but he dropped down. Oh, what's up?
That's what I came up here for. On 5 goofy ass. And he dropped down quick every time.
That's what
Not me going on his panel and he tried to use a book that Natural used against me. I'm like, are you trying to use my brother information against me? Like, how you? We want to know what books you read. We want to know what books you have. We know Natural got all the books. Like, I don't like, and people, that man is a whole clown. That's what I'm saying.
One second.
The funny thing is that some of us are pretending to be African and trying to teach Africanism and Pan-African. Like, that was something that went on pretty much in like the mid 80s, and then like by the 90s it ended. But for some reason it came back, and people are still believing in the out of Africa theory. But I'm telling you the truth. In 1947, there's a guy named Weinreich that decided to push the out of Africa theory. Push. You can look it up for yourself. You could even do a quick Google check. When was the out of Africa theory pushed? And it's going to come up 1947. And the guy's name was Weinreich. By 1970, it was placed in schools. So now you see where it formulated from and where it went. So you could just look it up for yourself and just know the truth.
And you really not lying, because I'm gonna find the guy name, but y'all gotta understand that just as we manifesting stuff, these white folks was manifesting and playing the spells and stuff too. And back in the 1700s, they been had this plan that they believed all of us belong over there. So ever since after that time, that's what they was building towards, that whole lie.
Facts.
That's
the
why
whole
they fell in love with
root
Darwinism.
story.
That's why. Exactly, and they fell in love, and then when Darwinism had his little thing and it got re-promoted, they all hopped on that bandwagon to make us all from one area. So that's why it gets pushed so much, even though they know they're not from Africa, but they realize how it affects us.
Facts. Oh, so everybody from West Africa, just the rest of Africa, empty as hell. Just everybody, just one area. We just all come from West Africa. Make it make sense. Africa big as hell, but we only come from this little tiny ass spot.
And that's it. That's it. That's it. Everybody from West Africa, the whole world, all of us came from West Africa. That's crazy.
Forget about the Moors ruling the whole world. Just everybody from West Africa. That's it.
That's it.
Y'all didn't go nowhere. Y'all didn't build boats. Y'all didn't ride horses. Y'all didn't do nothing. Y'all just stayed in one spot and stayed in your little hut, digging in your booty, and that's it.
Look, the thing that makes it funny, what you just said. If we wanted to be petty, right? Even though I don't have like no more ties like that, I can be petty and be like, okay, how come you guys belittle the history of the Moors? How come nobody speaks about how the Moors were in Switzerland before Switzerland? There's a whole fountain named after them. How come there's so many things I can just touch on with their history that multiple other demographics of cultures belittle on just them. So it's like, how petty y'all want us to really be?
Even think that people know that we are the Moors. Like, we civilize every place outside of America. And like I said, when you pull up them old maps and they showing like the African, they look just like us, feathers, everything. So the signs is there and they so subtle. You have to pay attention. You have to have the
I disagree with that.
Yeah, what did you just say?
I disagree.
Oh, that we are the Moors.
Yeah, and that the people that we reflect, the people in Africa, like, just can't say that because when you look at all the little Pacific Islanders that was shipped to that region in West Africa, then you got to think about the West Indies that was shipped to West Africa. Then you got to think about the main inland American Indians that was shipped to West Africa. Then you got to think about the Indians of Canada and South America that was shipped to West Africa. That is the reason why we look like the West African, because the majority of those people are Americans in West Africa.
Bro, that's the point I was trying to make. So if I worded it in a different way, forgive me. But yeah, basically.
Now, when you look at the Aboriginal West African, and you get I got it from this book, they were pale skinned people. There were white people on West Africa during colonialism. And the people that was taken in those slave ships were white people. I got an old book to prove it. They were white Arabic people that was being shipped to West Virginia. And we had white undesirable people being shipped from the European Isles at the same time. When they say undesirables, y'all really need to look into that undesirable and who was the real slave during that time, because most melanated people were just prisoners of wars in all forms. But we also had more Cisco's that was held captive, that became slaves too, that didn't want to become Catholics. So we got those people who that we just calling slaves too, that came from the European Isles, that was traitors to the Catholic family. It's quite a lot of them. A lot of them escaped to Brazil and all that. Easy money, you don't know shit. Shut up.
You
But
know what's
other
funny
than
about
that,
that, Natural, is that
yeah, go
the same
ahead.
thing happened to Columbus, bro. Columbus had to become Catholic because of that same situation you're talking about.
Yeah, he was a crypto Jew. But I ain't said that to attack. I just wanted to clarify it even more, because when us as a collective, when we dig deep into this shit, you will see the inconsistencies in history. Because one minute they call them Negroes, then they're gonna say that these Negroes were white type of people, fair skinned people. You
Right.
gotta literally go into these books from the 15 to 1600s and even translate them from Dutch, from the Portuguese language, from Latin. You gotta have to translate it, see the real truth. And some of them's already translated, but there's a reason why they didn't want to translate other books. So I'm saying, man, y'all don't I ain't talking to nobody on the panel, but y'all people in the comments as a collective, not all of you, but majority of you that's going against what I'm saying, y'all don't know real history. You don't know it. You only know Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Nat Turner,
Yep.
Rosa Parks, or Slave Boat, and that's it. And NASA went to the moon. What else they teach you? George Washington had wooden teeth. That's the only bullshit you know. The fake part of history,
Huh.
not the real history.
And they was all most of them were sellouts. Most of them were sellouts.
I was gonna say, let me
MLK,
throw out. Go ahead,
MLK.
bro.
Oh my bad, bro. I just finna say MLK knew he was Martian with American Indians. That's why he kept trying to. Oh, we from Africa. Let's go back to Africa. Let's do this in Africa. Cause he already knew what the business was.
No, actually at the end he was saying that we were here before they came and all that stuff. He was like, we were here before the Constitution. He was saying all that. He was letting people know the truth towards the end.
Like
So
speaking
at
from
the
the
end,
Moors that was my bad. Speaking from the Moors that was here before colonial time. Look at Grand Granada. That was a Moorish kingdom right here in the middle of America. Not saying that, hey, they was here from the get-go. I'm saying the Moors came here way before colonialism.
Yeah, we was
How you think they knew about America? When you look at the Moorish kingdoms that was here, who knows, the American Indians might say, hey, you can come live here and build your enterprise here. Like when they said Morocco was in America, I looked that up. That shit was true. It was here, but it wasn't a damn land. It was a
Man,
building.
they brought all
Hey,
that good.
they lied. Natural. The Moors were actually, you know where they're from? They're really from the New Mexico area. That's really where they're from, bro.
You talk about the Yucatan? Oh no, my bad. I'm tripping. You said New Mexico.
Hey, let me throw in there because you know that's a little test that I do for Moors, right?
Not just New Mexico. It would be New Mexico. It would be California. It would be Mexico and Mesoamerica would be where they're all at. Now, all you have to do is look at the annexation of Texas. That'll prove that beyond the Nueces and Bravo is where the land of the Moors is. Right. So that's not just New Mexico. That's the whole thing.
You see, look, I don't know a lot about the Moors, but I know more than most. Because most Moors I run into, the only thing they know is Noble Jew Ali and up, and that's it. Because when I talk about, hey, what's up with the Moors in the 1600s? What happened to the Moors of Spain? Why was they fleeing Spain? I don't know, bro. Go look it up. Noble Jew Ali said something about it. What's that dude named Dr. York said something about it? Fuck that. I want to know the name of the book that talks about it. And then when I call you out and ask you, like, hey, how can you be a Moor and don't know real Moor history? You can't tell me about the Moro War, what happened in the Pacific Islands. You can't tell me about ancient Lemuria, what happened during that time with the Moor people. You can't tell me about Grand Granada. You can't talking about what's the name? Albion, New Albion. I forgot the name of that.
New Albion.
New Albion in California. You can't talk about these various Moorish empires that was here before colonization. But only thing you're gonna tell me is about Noble Jew Ali and on up. Well, there was great Moors before them. So that's what I'm saying. That's like you come to me on some Dr. Umar Johnson bullshit.
That's why, just to stem off what Natural said, that's why it's like when it comes to people who claim more identity or claim the whole thing, and we have a conversation, and you don't know where one of your hoods was at. How you not know one of your main hoods was, in Granada, and you don't know about the fall of Granada and how it was here in Mexico and the whole, concubines, and how you had one of the most expensive, quote unquote, beautifulest concubines ever in the world. To me, how do you not know about them two demographics of things that really affected history, and you're supposed to be a Moor, and you don't even know about the fall of Granada?
No disrespect to Noble Jew Ali. I'm just talking about the Noble Jew Ali pushers. That's all I'm talking about. No disrespect to the mans of old. Just disrespect to those that push it.
Because like I said, the fact that they don't know that they once were so much in a high position in the world that they were seeing over the most expensive concubines and had the most expensive concubines says what about a person who claims of being a Moor? You don't know your own hood stories, bruh. How you from the hood?
And then the top of that, to add to their opium, it's disrespectful even to call them Moors too. Because again, I keep saying it over and over again, they call themselves by their family surnames. That was their nationality. They had their crescent. They had their what's the name of that thing? Coats of arms. They had all that shit. Why didn't you call yourself by your coats of arms? By your house.
See, and that's due to the fact of other Moors not knowing their situation, not doing history on their quote unquote hood and classifying everybody as a Moor. So them doing that has caused them to have a lack of history on their own history because they identify anybody copper colored as being them, which is crazy.
Look, there's Haki Mabo in the comments said Moor means dark / black. Listen, y'all can't keep saying dark and black are the same thing, because there's like a light red and then there's a dark red. So you're telling me once it becomes dark red, it's black as well?
Look, my
once anything becomes
yellow.
dark, it's black, right? So if it's dark red, it's black. Dark blue is black. Dark green is black. Dark orange is black.
Dark purple.
Come on, y'all. Yeah, this shit don't make no sense. All right, dark and black is not the same thing. And people ain't black. None of us are black, and we ain't talking about black people. All right.
Lauren Talk, can you come up to the panel? I'm gonna drop somebody down so you can come up because
I'll drop down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna drop down.
You can drop me. Thank y'all.
Okay.
I'm saying, like, yeah, if you pushing that, man, pick up. If you know you got Moorish family, a lot of the Moorish people, they lived in the islands, Russia, Germany, all that shit. If you know you got receipts back to those lands, please find your coats of arms. Start repping your surname. Stop calling yourself a Moor.
All right, now, Lord. All right.
Hey, let's get down to the.
When I say Moor, I say Urquhart. I say Iwanians. I don't say Moor. I say my family names.
I want a Moor to come up here and speak on them concubines, since he's supposed to be a Moor, right? And he claims
Sicilians.
Come tell us about them concubines y'all used to own, bruh.
Yeah, that's the
Don't
reason
talk
our
about,
women going through the bullshit
no,
they're
but
going
see,
through today.
yeah, you be tripping if you talk about the concubines in Europe, then whatever. But you got to talk about the concubines in America. You know, the ones that were the mothers of the KKK, right?
Look,
They got
look,
Yeah,
that's the
we got to
that's
start
the
talking
reason
about.
we're going through this caste system now. Our women be playing this, oh, make me lighter. That makes me beautiful. That comes from the Moors mixing with the undesirables, producing their seed like that. And they say automatically, yo, this complexion is beautiful. It's fair. They didn't care. Y'all need to understand. Fair was yellow skin. It was not white in those
All right,
old books.
guys. Okay.
Now, when you incorporate that today, what do you see on TV? You see the interracial couple producing, oh, the child, it looks so beautiful. That's a product of the ancient teachings, old teachings of the Moors caste system producing fair skin.
Yeah.
And they say it's beautiful. Now, look how the light-skinned women in our communities act towards the darker-skinned women in our communities. You cannot tell me that ain't the product of Moors.
Can I ask a question though?
Yeah, look
What's
how
the
brothers
thing?
act toward light skinned and dark skinned women.
No,
Hold on,
what
hey,
kind
y'all.
of girls they like? I
What
mean, like
Mama got to say
when I
about the
was in
concubines?
America,
Hold up.
when I was in America.
Hold up. This is somebody talking. Would you say it?
No, sorry about that. My name is GT.
Is that your real profile picture?
It's like Grand Theft. GT is like Grand Theft.
Okay.
Yeah,
You came up
okay.
here to say what?
So I was wondering. I heard you like saying a lot of stuff, right? So I'm gonna give you a question for the men and for the girls.
Women?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like girls. That's way.
See, that's
way
a red
better.
flag. Why would you call us men and call them girls?
Cause they're girls.
What you
girls.
think
I
we're
was
grown and they're you
kidding.
think
I
we're
was
grown and they're
kidding.
children up here talking?
No,
Everybody's grown.
girls.
Everybody's grown up here.
Why you have to like
Don't be weird, man.
words?
It is crazy.
Okay, women. Okay, women.
Okay, go ahead. What's your
Okay,
question?
women.
What's your question? Go
Asian
ahead.
Asian guys or girls are cute, right? Or no?
Repeat that question again.
Asian guys or girls are beautiful, right?
Girls are beautiful.
Did
that dude just say a
Is
dude?
that what he said?
Yeah, I think you need to drop down, man.
Did he just say a
No,
dude?
don't drop him. Don't drop him. Don't drop him. Hold on.
Yeah, let
Did
him
you say
finish.
Chinese girls are beautiful?
No, did he
No,
say
Chinese, not
dudes was
Chinese,
beautiful?
Asian.
No, he said
Oh, you
Chinese
said
dudes.
Asian women are beautiful. Now, define Asian. What you mean by Asian women?
But bro, you didn't hear him say
Asian.
the dude part. He said dudes too. He said Asian
I
dudes.
think I agree.
Yeah, Asian women.
I agree.
You talking about Negritos? They
The,
Negritos,
the,
they not.
the Asiatic, right?
But he said
First,
Asian
The
dudes.
Asiatic.
He said
Chinese.
Asian
You talking
dudes
about
are
that?
beautiful.
Oh, he asked us they
Korean,
cute. Oh,
Mongolian.
there's beauty in all nationalities. Why is that even a point?
Let him finish.
When I was there, I mean, like all the guys that I met, you know, they had like Asian wives
Rama,
and shit, you
Rama,
know.
hold on, bro. Hold on, because you're doing too much rambling, my
What is?
boy. Do you
Y'all
know
have to let him get. Y'all have to let him get to his point.
Yeah, she right. Yeah, she right.
Go ahead. What's your point?
Yeah. My point is
away
like
is first.
sometimes you have to be like really
See, the point is an hour away. That's the thing. You know, it's not fair. So we'll let them get there, but all day though, for real.
Question, I really want to ask him this
for
question,
real,
y'all.
man.
Rama, bruh, do you know about the Negritos, my boy? Like, so let's just cut to the chase. Do you know what Negritos are? Since you're talking about Asians and Chinese, and you got an Asian Chinese profile picture.
I had a black girlfriend though.
Listen to what I'm saying. Negrito women are fine as hell. Do you know about the Negrito women that
Yeah,
are fine
she
as hell?
was fine as hell. Because I loved her.
So why y'all don't ever mention the Negritos and call yourself Asian and Chinese, and the Negritos is y'all big homies and y'all indigenous and where you come from?
I'm not saying I'm Chinese.
Japanese.
You know? I'm saying.
And why did you address her as black? Why didn't you call her by her nationality? That was disrespectful.
I didn't say you were black. You know.
You said I got a black girlfriend, so you dating a Creon?
I had a black girlfriend.
I think I can sum
Again,
up.
what is a black girlfriend? Is it like a dark horse? Is it like a boy?
So hey, natural. He broke up. He broke up with a crayon.
No.
He probably did.
broke up
Because
with
I
a
know what a
crayon.
black girlfriend is.
Don't
Hold on.
bullshit. You guys.
I think
You
we can
guys
sum
just
this up
want
for him.
discrimination and shit.
In the good words of Rick James, cocaine is a hell
Hey,
of a
listen,
drug.
he's cursing,
I don't
y'all.
understand. I don't
He's using
understand.
big boy words.
Good. Why you wanna like
Rama, how come you guys don't
say
ever
some
Rama,
something
how come you
hate
guys
to
don't?
me?
No, we're not. How come you guys don't ever?
I had a girlfriend.
You
She
look like
was a
Pee Wee Herman. Hey, who let Pee Wee Herman up here?
That's
Hey,
CIA.
get Pee Wee Herman out of here.
Right?
Yeah,
'Cause he don't
Hey,
even
get
want
Pee
to talk
Wee
about
Herman out of
I
here.
was
He don't even want to talk about the Negritos.
Hey, somebody get Pee Wee Herman out of here.
Be open-minded.
Hey man,
Y'all guys are not
who you get your
open-minded.
herbs from, bro? Cause you high. You high. Who you get your herbs from?
Hold on.
Nah,
He talking about being
I'm
open-minded.
fucking over
Hold on.
here.
You talking about being open-minded, right, Mama? So how come y'all haven't mentioned nothing about the Negritos? How come we had to find out about the Negritos on our phone and y'all don't never celebrate them or show them when y'all displaying their history?
Hey, before all, you could drop him.
Hey, send them to the realm of a minty.
Yeah, exile that boy.
Not the rim of Bementi.
Exile.
Sent them to the halls of Bementi.
Lord, I was trying to see what this person was up here earlier, but they dropped down. I wanted him to come back up because he didn't get to his what he wanted to say, so I invited him back up. But y'all, that people be coming up here to say stupid shit. Like, okay, nobody never said nothing about that. Why you even bringing this shit up?
That's why I feel like he was definitely a CIA agent.
Ooh, Lord. That was crazy. People are crazy on this app.
Cybersecurity.
People are crazy on this app.
I don't
even know why he felt
Asian girlfriends. Like, is this even the topic?
Hey, what is the topic? What you got out there? Slavery was not real. Prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. This person sounds familiar.
No,
He
I'm
said,
new.
dude, I can hear you.
No, I'm new up here.
Like we're scared of him or something.
Yeah.
No, you're not new. You definitely sound familiar.
Is that
No, I'm new
05?
up here. I'm being for real. Like I'm new. That's God honest truth.
Hold on. What?
Some of Port City, is that you? It's not Port City.
Yeah, ain't no passport bros over here.
No, I don't do that passport bro stuff. I love American women.
Dang it. I thought his name was Green Dot.
Hey.
Hey, check my audio. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Am I clear?
Mm-hmm.
My speaker messed up. Drop me, because I don't want to mess up the whole thing, man. Something's wrong.
What's up? Here.
You sound good.
You can hear me good?
I can hear you fine.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That's what I was saying. 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Because I don't know. Okay. I'm gonna mute myself. How y'all doing?
How you doing?
Peace. I'll see you.
Green Dine, Green Dine, what you came to add to the conversation? What's up? What you think about the topic?
I agree. I mean, in a way, I agree. Slavery. It's all depending on how you layer the word slavery. Like, I feel like all of us been. You got followers and you got leaders. Words mean people don't understand the title of the word and the meaning of the word and when they say it. Like slavery, in a way, could not be real, but in a way, to develop, you must have leaders and you must have followers. It all depends on the level a punishment you do towards your followers to be called a slave.
I'm gonna keep it real with everybody. What they call slavery is actually employment.
He right.
There was people that was
100.
coming from Europe. They came over here as indentured, so they had like what 7 years to work off their debt. So that's really what it is. But
That's
you know
why I
what I'm
say
saying?
everything is about wordplay. Like how we used to say homies, now we say fam. Everything is about wordplay. It's what word you put it behind it. It could be negative or it could be positive.
But that word is used to like an umbrella term to help like erase like indentured servitude and other demographics of people that are actually in slavery. That's why, like you said, it's a play on words.
Okay.
But my man, he made a good point. It's the word saying employee. That's all it is. They just cleaned it up and said employee.
Yeah.
Anna Joe,
It's like,
what you think to add to the conversation?
Hello, everybody. I didn't so I had so much things that I wanted to talk about, but when it comes down to the question that's behind you, what I think about that is the honest truth is I know that I read a book called How to Build the Christian Negro, and in that book that man said that so-called slavery started with about 14 Africans. You heard me? So it's not like the thousands of people that they saying was over here going through all of that. That's number one. But I didn't really have nothing on the topic. I was only interested in the part when one of the brothers was talking about people need to start using their surnames and stuff. He brought up something about Germany. There's a show that just came out called Queen Charlotte by Shonda Rhimes, and I think it was very interesting, and it went with what the brother was saying about basically Shonda you watched it.
Go watch it.
It was
I've been watching it.
and
I've
that
been
girl
binge
is a
watching
real
it.
person. I didn't even
But
know that.
listen,
Yeah, she look just like Queen Charlotte too.
Real.
This what made the movie so interesting, right? In the movie, they was talking about America. They was throwing little gems in there.
Yes.
Because they was talking about North Tartaria and they also talked about the people in America being Moors, and
Yes.
they was also talking about that one girl, her daddy was like this king of Sierra Leone.
King Charlotte.
Sierra Leone. And they were just dropping a whole bunch of gems. I actually got to go rewatch it to make sure that it hit.
Look,
That was
then you
fire.
watch
They
part
was
two.
bringing up
Part
that
two
girl
is
had-
Bridgerton.
She was saying she had more
Watch
blood.
Bridgerton too.
Yeah, that's Bridgerton. And the new
Bridgerton
one
is
came
part
out
two.
about Queen Charlotte.
Yeah.
As soon as she walked
Yeah,
in,
Bridgerton.
the lady said, "You ain't tell me she had more blood." He was like, "I told you she was brown." She was like, "You ain't tell me she had that much more blood in her."
Hold on, let me correct some. Dog. Bridgerton is actually the first one. Queen Charlotte is the
Okay,
first
my
one.
bad. You right.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
tripping. You
Bridgerton
right.
and the other one, and then Queen Charlotte. But yes, they ate on Queen Charlotte. I ain't gonna even lie.
Hey, that shit. Capri had me watching that shit at first. I'm like, babe, what the fuck is this? Then I started getting into that shit. Then I seen the part where they whitewashed her picture. I said, "Oh man, this is the shit we've been talking
That's
about."
the part I was trying to bring up. That's the only part I was going to agree to everybody. Like when it comes down to using discernment with this information and stuff, they showed us how that girl was brown and they did her picture and said on purpose to paint her lighter. So when it come down to most of this information and stuff that they be having, you really got to use the spirit of discernment because they be lying.
And that happened during the period of what you call the Renaissance. You know what I'm saying? They were making a lot of pictures that were dark, light. That was the switchover.
Yeah, she was in 17. She was basically from 1761 to 1818. That was her lifespan. But the movie takes place in like the late 1780s. I think she's like 17 or 18 years old when the story starts.
Yes, she was like, I was 7 and 10.
So what do you think they were trying to tell us?
All your kings and queens are black.
The real nobility of the world is melanated.
The Irish and the Scottish, they beef because the Irish know that they come and their descendants and their king was copper colored, and the Scottish don't agree. So the main beef between the Irish and the Scottish is that the fact that one of them know their king was copper colored and the other one don't agree with them.
Can I say something about this real quick? You know what's really embarrassing about this thing? That the real king and queen right now, today, has no ties to royal bloodlines. Period. Isn't that crazy?
How they turn around and get real descendant more. I hate to say it in them terms, but like what's Prince Harry woman name? Megan.
Megan.
Yep.
Oh fuck. My bad.
So
Yeah,
are we,
Megan.
so this Africa. So are we African Americans?
Come
No.
back up, Anna Joe.
Just Americans, not no African American. We're just
I'm gonna give you a
Americans.
good one real quick, Master Blaster, and this is something you can look up real quick, and this will make you start.
Really, you can drop me and make
People
room
who
for somebody
identify
else. I'm in here listening though. You could drop me
people who
and make room for somebody else.
people who identify as African American, all you got to do is look up Esteban or Estebanco, and that's the first African American to come over here with the Spaniards. So people who identify as African American, ask them how come they don't know or celebrate Esteban, which was the first African American here.
Hey, let me interrupt. My name is Gabriel Kos. I'm originally from Africa. So the person who says the slavery was not real, I can prove you that slavery was real. So because we have
You can probably prove it personally for you, can't prove it for anyone. That's what you're not going to do.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Yes, I have my great grandparents. They told us, what happened before. So when they brought the African American to Europe and to America, right? So I can call the African American my ancestor, like the great grandparents. I can call them, right? Because they brought from there. So if you go anywhere, even to the Caribbeans, they're all Africans. The person was saying that is very wrong. I'm originally.
What's your proof? Because you just said your great grandfather said something. So what's your proof that you can use to prove it?
No, because some, because they started that because the European, when they come to Africa to take the African to Europe, to build Europe, right? Who built Europe? It's Africa.
But hold on, Gabrielle. But wasn't before they even started their process, there were melanated people already there. So what are you talking about? So is you talking about those melanated people who said, hey, we're incapable of building ourselves, so let's go get some Africans that can build it?
No.
So we got one black person going to get another black person to build something that black person is incapable of building.
No, Africa was stable. Some like the kings and queens, they're already rich.
No, you missing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
During that time when they was building, those people were already melanated black people. I'm not talking about white people. It was not white people doing this. When those people came down, the original people of the European Isles and all them places were melanated black people, like how you say, like you and I. So you telling me those people from the 12th century and all the way down came to Africa and say, hey, let's get some Africans and take them up here because it's a wasteland. We don't have no buildings. We don't have nothing. We don't have no parliament. We see what they got, so let's go get them and build this up here. Even though they already had the boats and the guns and the swords and the chains and the crowns and all that stuff. So that's what you're telling me?
Yes, because because
bullshit.
The African, they don't have the guns, but they use the arrows,
Wait, how the hell you don't have guns, but you're capable of building massive buildings and megalithic cities in those ancient times? Do you remember the Sahara used to have megalithic cities? So you're telling me you had megalithic cities?
Yes.
You had advanced, hold on, listen, you had advanced technology in Africa. They dumbed down today. They had all of that, but you didn't have no gun.
Hey,
come on now.
It's the guns come after, man.
The guns been here. They're on hologram. Man, come on now.
Hold up.
All right.
Hold up, y'all.
I don't want to argue with
Gabriel. Listen, for real. Let's have the conversation.
Yeah.
We got 200 people in the audience. Now, wife says, now listen to my question now. So, were the black people that were sold from over there in Africa, were they stolen or were they given up? Which one is it? They were stolen or they were sold from their group. Which one is it?
You know,
were we captured? Were we captured or did our people willingly give us up? Which one was it?
They captured them by force because the communication, right? They don't know where they're going. They don't want to go, right? Just they capture you and they tie you down, right? So when they brought to Europe and the business started,
So being fight back. So y'all just let your kids get taken.
You know, the other people selling other, you know.
So why didn't y'all fight back?
Can I quickly comment?
He just finished watching Roots.
Yeah.
Can you?
He said, "Yeah."
Go ahead.
Can I
put me on the big screen real quick?
Can I quickly come in here just to answer the question? So, what happened? If you observe according to history, many of the enslaved Africans that were taken from Africa to the Americans were from West Africa. And
here we go.
Can you listen? Can you just listen to my point?
Listen, yeah.
Right. So the enslaved Africans that were taken from West Africa, that is Congo, Nigeria, Ghana, and some other West African countries.
When those names didn't even exist.
Can you please just a minute?
I'm just saying, at least be right.
You see how
At least be
excited
right.
Gabriel got? Gabriel was like, hold on, listen.
Right. So
can't wait.
Like I was saying, so the Africans that were captured from West Africa and brought to the Americans, some of them were captured by force, kidnapped. Some of them were prisoners of war.
Yes.
So I am not. We are not saying that every single
this
black
ain't
person.
church, Gabriel.
Can you listen? Can you listen, please? I am not saying that not every single black person in America is from Africa. There were already black communities. There were already black people living in America before slave trade. That's a fact. But you cannot dismiss the fact that Africans were also brought from Africa to America. We have the history passed down from generation to generation.
Okay.
The only problem we have back in Africa is that we don't have written history. And when you're talking about Africa being so developed, why couldn't we fight against the white colonialists? We fought, but our technology wasn't as advanced as the ones that were brought to fight against us in Africa.
That's that crap I'm talking about, man. You keep on trying to put these people up high, and these people didn't even take battles. They was incapable of building ships. They was incapable of a lot of stuff. Yet you saying you being conquered by people that's incapable of building. That doesn't make sense.
No,
they wasn't even capable of farming.
We have to be realistic. I am not.
We are being realistic. Your story don't match because y'all was strong people. How the heck was you brought so low?
We fought.
Okay.
We fought. Listen, we fought.
The history that I understand is different. So when I think about like what it's similar, it's somewhat similar, but when it comes to like what about the African slave trade and how do we know where the ancestors in Africa came from? So if you look at the two documentations, it's called the history left in the treaty documents, records of like the chroniclers of history of West African political states. That's one of them, and the other one is records of Christian political inquisition of Europe states. And these things prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the Europeans, specifically the Dutch, the British, the French, Portuguese, and Spanish, allied with the African kingdoms of Whydah and Oyo Kingdom and kingdoms of Dahomey and other African kingdoms to unlawfully enslave our people who were predominantly Moors indigenous Muslims of in Africa. Okay, so they took
No,
them and they just brought them back here. So like, but
no,
we're
no,
we're
no,
talking about but these are documentations that the Caucasian kept in record
no.
and
Just
who
a
they
minute.
allied with.
You don't have to believe what the Caucasian wrote on their history books. I don't personally believe that. I don't personally believe
Okay,
the
listen.
whitewashed history. I believe what my
Leo.
ancestors told me.
Leo.
But
Okay.
that's not whitewash though. They actually told who.
Wait, hold up, Leo.
Okay,
So,
wait.
So hold up, Leo. By you making the statement that there were already so-called, I don't like using the term black people already here in America. Were they Africans or what? I mean,
Nobody in the earth except African. Listen, see, like from East Africa, before even like the slavery in East Africa, like from the North Africa to the Egypt, now it's called Egypt. Where those people go? Where the African go? Like Tunisia, Morocco. Where those African go? They used to be the land of African. Where did they go? They all take them to Europe, right? I can say, see, here from East Africa, they used to take them from Red Sea. Like example from my country is Sudan, right? The Nubian, they capture them. They don't want to go. They take them to the farm.
Hold on a second. Hey, hold on, Gabriel. Hold on.
Listen. I just want to say something a little bit.
We've been listening to y'all for a long time to the point where we lost our identity and culture because we've been listening to y'all. It's time for y'all to listen. Put me on the big screen real quick before. Hold on, I want to show him this. Hold on. No, hold on, bro.
Real African, buddy.
No, don't put him on the big screen. Hey, chill out, bro. We're about to listen.
Don't look the book. Everything is written wrong.
Hold on. So look here, right?
You see, listen.
Hold on, listen. Hold on and listen 1 minute, bro.
Let me mention something.
Africans don't let people talk.
The Nubian captured the work and the farms.
I think that's a wrong rhetoric. You shouldn't say that. Gabriel, you should listen. He said you should listen. You have to listen, please. And host, please, that rhetoric is not correct. It's offensive.
No, I'm not. I didn't mean like to say something.
No, I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the host. She said something.
Can I explain this real quick?
That's the question.
Every time I let them up here, they here's the thing.
We're not fighting, we're just discussing.
We not, but this is the problem. Every time that Africans come on my panel, they want to overtalk everybody. They never want to hear American history. They think they already know it already.
No,
and we try to tell them that they don't know everything.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to be out.
Thank you, because I sure had to come over here because I had to grab my husband's phone because I'm working and trying to listen to this stuff too. And this happened last night. Every time y'all come on these panels and try to talk to us as if y'all are people, y'all talk down to us. And then you tell us to be quiet. No, let me talk. I don't like that support, that like this freaking complex y'all have. Y'all need to calm all that down. Quit talking to us because you over there in that continent and you think you know something. We over here in this continent and don't know. So you need to listen when we're trying to tell you.
Let me explain it to Olio.
Thank you. Please continue. Opium.
Show you something real quick, my G, since you being open-minded. This is a lot of this right here. You see this man right here, my G, Esteban, that a lot of Americans and African people are just the general public because we've all been indoctrinated around the world, right? So due to the fact that a lot of people being indoctrinated, most people with even copper-colored descent do not know about the first African American to come over here as a spy with the Spaniards to get information from the indigenous people that lived here in America. So why would the Spaniards use an African male that looks like the indigenous people that live here in America to infiltrate the American Indians if they look like the natives of today?
So what?
My argument, like I said earlier,
So are you saying that they used a black man to infiltrate the Native Americans?
No.
What
That's
is that?
not
Hold
what
on,
he
hold on,
said.
let me read
That's
this. I'm gonna read it. Esteban de Torres was an important explorer connected to Coronado expedition. He was a Fray Marisco de whatever it is, the Renaissance expedition to whatever, 1539. Esteban was an enslaved African and praised for his ability to communicate with the indigenous people.
Where did you get this information from, please? If
here you
because
go. There you
yeah,
go.
Hello, can I
no,
can I speak?
because
Hello, let me speak real quick. Let me speak real quick.
all right, because earlier we were
This is
talking about cognitive dissonance, so we have to be
Leo. I'm gonna let you go right after me. Hold on. This is what I mean. Even though he pulled it from Google, you can verify this from old books. You can go read the expedition. You can read the expeditions in the voyage books of this particular individual and talk about how they use Africans to blend in with American Indians, not natives, American Indians. There's a difference between natives and American Indians. They're not the same thing, whoever was saying what to that statement. But it is true. And again, there's a part in history where it says the Africans fled to the American Indians to blend in, to hide. How the hell can you hide with somebody that don't fucking look like you?
Mhm.
You need to think about it.
You're right.
Here we
Like
go.
I
Wait,
totally
hold on.
agree with you.
Here we go. Estebanco,
No, we
1500
don't
to
have to even
1539.
argue this.
Was
This is
hold
not a
on, hey,
debate.
hold on. Was an
This is a
African
fact.
slave and known as the first person born in Africa who has arrived to present day. Continental U.S. United States. During his life, he was known by several names, and even more after he died when he was described by modern historians. Some of those names are Estebanco, Esteban de Torres, Esteban the Moor. Although much more unknown, he is remembered today not only because his slave status, but also because he took part in a large exploratorial mission that left him and one of the few survivors of the Spanish expedition and a guide from 3 Spanish survivors that became famous after they managed to reach the territory of New Mexico finally after more than 10 years of journey. And you want to see who else Esteban is? I'm going to show you when you really dig, right? When you really, really dig and you really like do it with integrity, I'm going to show you who else Esteban is. Watch this. You're not going to believe me, but watch this picture. Watch this.
The suspense is killing me.
I can see it.
Guess what? That's Esteban also. Just to let you know, he also was the general of the Holy Roman Empire, my boy. So how is the general of the Holy Roman Empire a copper-colored individual leading a whole army? So you mean to tell me he was leading a whole bunch of Slavs?
Man, the argument, I'm not disputing your claim. What I'm saying is that Africans were taken from Africa and were enslaved in the U.S. I am not saying that people.
That's true. It's true,
that,
but not large numbers. It's not.
Yeah, that's correct.
numbers.
Yeah, that's correct. Right? So the statement, the claim that slavery never happened is a bit misguided. That is the point. It happened, but it didn't happen at the proportion that we were being told. Right? So there were already melanated people in the Americans. That's a fact. But Africans were kidnapped, stole from Africa, and were made slaves in Northern America. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Look, listen, for what I was told in these books, y'all agreed to come over here. In the first go around, the first 100 years, y'all was coming over here as indentured service because you was promised land. I wouldn't say kidnap. Probably when you say kidnap, probably children. I ain't gonna lie, there's probably some children was taken because they was doing it in the Pacific Islands. They was taking people kids.
In the 1500s, Giovanni de Verrazano in the 1500s was kidnapping children on the east coast of North America and taking them to Europe and to Africa. It's documented in his voyages that he was kidnapping children, women and children.
We have to be really careful. We have to be careful to separate opinion from facts. The history of slavery is deeply indented in the heart of Eastern Nigerians, especially, and in the heart of Ghanaians. who are from the regions where slavery, where slaves where Africans were captured. We still have this story. We still have this story passed down from generation to generation. Can I tell you something? I never learned about slavery from history books in Africa because we never had that in our curriculum.
Leo,
That's how bad it is.
Leo, but let me tell you
of history.
But Leo, let me mention something to you, my G, because like I kind of hear, because I appreciate you being open minded and stuff, my G. But for in order for you to really achieve where I think you're trying to go and the level that you're trying to get at, my G, you have to do your genealogy, bro. If you really want to be on this journey and you really want to be 10 toes fully into this journey, you have to do the history on yourself first. You have to find out where your bloodline and where you fit into this matrix at before you start having an opinion on history, my G. That's what you're not understanding. Natural, everybody in here that you're in this live with has done the footwork to know where they fit in history to be able to have a valid opinion about the topic that they're talking about. You not knowing your oldest port of life and not knowing where you fit into this matrix at on this continent, it's only an opinion, bruh.
How did you come to this conclusion that I haven't done anything regarding my history?
Because you wouldn't have the perspective that you have, to be honest with you, and a lot of us who have bought that ticket on the emotional roller coaster of integrity and truth don't speak like you and don't have the perspective like you.
All right. Just because I have a different opinion, does that invalidate my point of my claim?
Hold up, y'all. Hold up, right quick. So I heard you say something about that they were affected by those people being taken. Do you know how many people were taken from over there?
I do not have the number, and I do not trust the numbers that I have in the history book.
Well, let me tell you what we learned. In America, we was taught 12.5 million people were stolen from Africa and brought to America. That's what we was taught. And I know in goddamn well that is 12.5 back in those times. If 12.5 million people was taken, ain't nobody goddamn left. You mean to tell me you taking people, you taking boatloads of people, you capture, come on now, you taking boatloads of people, 700, 800 people at a time, and ain't nobody noticed, ain't nobody did nothing. That's what you were saying?
I think we have a misunderstanding here. I just want you to tell me, how do you understand my argument? And I just want us to have a common ground. Let's be on a common ground, right? So my argument is this. This is my argument, please. Slavery, when you say slavery never happened, that is a false claim. It happened, but not at the proportion at which we're being told. That is it. If you're saying slavery never happened, it's an injustice to those who were kidnapped from Africa. It's an injustice to those who suffered as prisoners who were taken from Africa to the Northern America.
Let me say this and tell me if I'm wrong.
I was going to say,
even if it is five people,
information,
even if
I call it prisons of war. I don't actually call it slavery.
I'm still speaking. I would respect you when.
Yeah, but you spoke the whole time though, and I was quiet. That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry. Just a minute.
Okay, go ahead, finish, man.
All right, just a minute. When you say slavery never happened, it's like it's disrespect.
I never said that.
All right, so that's what you have on your what's it called? Your background. You said slavery never happened. Prove me wrong. So that was why I came up. I was like, okay.
I guess you didn't read it, but that's not what my background say.
So let me mention something.
Slavery was not real. All right.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. Hold on. Let me tell you something. You said it's an atrocity or whatever, right? My thing is, you know what's an atrocity? Is living in America, right? Growing up, being told about the 12 million slaves, right? but then you do the research in this picture that you see in my background, and you find out that it was actually 12 million immigrants that came through Ellis Island. So the fact that you haven't even experienced or can understand the perspective of a person that's been living in America under the title as African American and Black, and in high school, and everybody else that was living here telling you, hey, yeah, the 12 million slaves that came here, and then you look up history and you're like, wait, hold on, how is it 12 million immigrants? So you mean to tell me 12 million people came here 2 different times?
You are still having that false argument. I'm not arguing against that. I am saying that I'm going to say it again. I am saying, because I think you're just listening to respond. If you actually listen to understand what I'm trying to say, you will get my point. I'm saying 5, even if it was 5 Africans that were taken from Africa, let's say 5.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Go ahead. Go ahead and make your point. Even if it was 5 Africans that came,
I know that it doesn't
happen.
It doesn't feel well with you. It's disrespectful to say it's not real. That's the thing. You don't want to accept that. It's fine.
We're saying it's not real in the perception that the world has taught it. That's see, when you looking at it, that you took your form of understanding of it.
Again,
what I'm saying is like, if you watch the movie Roots, Underground, and all this other stuff, what is taught to the Americans, because this is really based about America. We talking about what happened to us, not what happened to you.
No,
we talking about what slavery dealing with us is not real. That's what we not talking. Right. That's what we talking about. Now, you heard me earlier. I said yes, some Africans was brought here, but it's not the way you said it. They agreed to come here because they was promised land.
That's
now
wrong.
Some kids was taken. That is true. I got documents to prove it.
That's wrong.
For
the document is false.
100 years. For 100 years, Africans came over here willingly because they was promised land. That's why they had high statuses when they came here in the 1600s and up. And then you compare it to the other.
Who wrote it?
When you compare, it's called indentured servitude documents, indentured servitude contracts.
Who wrote it?
It doesn't matter who wrote it.
There you
It
go.
matters. It matters.
I don't base truth based off skin color. I don't do that.
Oh my God!
To me, that's foolish.
There's a country.
And I'm gonna say straight up, like, listen,
They stole Africans, and they said it's somehow servitude. That's how they.
Listen, man. Okay. I'm gonna give you a little hint, a little bit. Say, so look at when they brought Africans over, it was a strategic plan to first ship the indigenous Aboriginals, the people that were in America that were black. They shipped them out to Spain. They shipped them out to Europe. They shipped them out to the islands. Okay, they were shipping people out first from America. Then they brought the Africans over, so that they can say, well, you guys were African from here. So then they started to reclassify the indigenous or the Indian black man that was here, and they kept reclassifying his name so that he wouldn't know his Jasoli and Jasango rights. And that, like, so as they reclassify, they finally got to the African American, the Negro, the color, the African American. I put this up. I asked her to put me up because, as you can see, they trademarked African American. And you can still look this up and see they updated. They trademarked African American as a food product. They wanted to use the African American to say we came from there, and they wanted to denationalize us, bro. That's what they did in the North American continent.
I am not arguing against that, my brother.
And when they're telling you how people came over, that's the reason I think they're trying to get the point to you so you understand. It was all about reclassification. This was a pawn game, bro. They were playing chess. They were playing chess. They were literally playing chess, bro, not checkers.
And it was for the land too, because the only way you can disassociate a demographic of people from their land that they're entitled to is either intermarrying, unaliving, or reclassification. There's only 3 ways to be entitled to the land when you come to another country or another continent, to people who already are bloodline connected to the land, especially if they have land patents or the society is already set up. So if the society is already set up to the point where the individuals have land patents, the only way for you
Monroe, if you want to come up here, come up here.
Yeah. It was like